Okay, so once again we've got the original graph of y equals fx. Now we're going to look at final few transformations that we probably could understand by looking at what we've done before, but we're just going to make them nice and explicit because they are quite common transformations. First of all, we're going to look at y equals minus f of x. So just like before, when we had a 2 there, or a 3, we would multiply all the y values by 2 or 3. Now we've just effectively got a minus 1 there. So we're going to multiply all of our y values by minus 1. And that's going to give us this point. We'll move to 3 minus 4. And this point here, we'll move to 5 minus 8. But importantly, all of these other points would also have negative y values now. Or where they were negative, they'll now be positive. So it's going to reflect the whole graph in the x-axis. So what shape we should end up with is something like that. It should be basically the same graph, but flipped, reflected in the y-axis, so that all of the y values become negative, whether they were named or not. Notice that it still passes through the x-axis at exactly the same point, because 0 multiplied by minus 1 is still 0. Okay, so that's y equals minus f of x, noticing that it acts on the y values. Now we'll consider what would happen for y equals f of minus x. So similar, but I've just moved the negative to be on the x now. So remember, when it's in here, it's like we're solving an equation, so we would now effectively divide all of our x values by minus 1. So this here would become minus 3, 4, and that there would become minus 5, 8. Again, now leaving the y values untouched. And the same would happen for all of these unnamed values. They would be the same, but reflected, given negative x values. Okay. So what happens is our graph is effectively the same, but reflected in the y-axis. Still crossing at the same point, because again, 0 divided by minus 1 is still 0. And all of the other values, the x values at least, become negative, the y values are unchanged. Okay, that's how we deal with negatives in transformations.